Suns, brick fans, and welcome back to another episode of Building Bar 2 Galaxy's Edge in Lego. On this week's episode, I'm going to take you guys through a whole stack of progress. I've put on a prototype roof so you can get a real feel for what this thing's going to look like. I've got the gold trim in there that runs around the outside. I've also done a pathway as well. Plus, I have taken the spire apart at the top so I can lift it up. Last week I mentioned that I was probably going to lift it up a little bit after the roof went on. That is 100% what has happened. So that top has come off and I've started to increase the size of that. But let's not wait around. Let's hit that hyperdrive and jump straight in. We are certainly making some real progress with this building, except for the fact that I have pulled the top off, which is over there. So this one's actually starting to look a little bit like Jabba's palace, but it won't, hopefully, once I'm finished with it. And all the other things from Bar 2 are in there. So there we go. Let's get stuck into the episode. Here we go, just to kick off, I got a big Lego haul in of tiles, so now I can fill out this section of Dok-Ondar's, which I'm pretty happy with. I think that's going to look really, really cool. So once I fill in that rock beast there and put down the statues and all of the stuff that's going to sort of be packed out here, this is all going to be set dressed with some cases and crates and things. That's going to look pretty cool. And also then walking down this way, down to the milk stand. And I'll probably have a few story points and things going on in there. But yeah, that's looking pretty good to kick it off. So here we are, the prototype roof. You will see that there is a few little issues with the coloration. I think I'm mainly going to be going with the dark bluish grey for this, but that's generally how it's going to look. As you can see, I have ripped off this as well. But yeah, I think that's going to work pretty well. I'm going to try another technique in here. This is just using an octagonal hinge piece here and here. Which is why it's got sort of 8 here. But what I'm actually going to do in here is try a flexi tube with maybe even some ball joints and things just to kind of solidify this in and around here, because I don't like these gaps, and I think the flexi tube might just bring it in a little bit closer and give me a little bit more to play with that regard. I'm actually thinking about just tilting these in a little bit also, and just so I can get that ever so slight curve on it. That's the general idea anyway. So that will run right the way around. The additional piece will still come out to about here, and the idea is that this will have a spire and a few extra bits on it, and then I can actually pull this right off and drop the camera into that little section and shoot in and around that way, as well as from this side. So there we go. That is the update on the roof situation. This is just a little prototype, as I said, but we're making some definite progress here, and I think it's working really well. Back to this here, I have obviously taken this off. The piece is actually sitting over here, the top piece, but this is actually going to be raised up another section like this, and then that top piece here will actually go another one on top. As I said, had to remove this out. These ones don't have any cladding on it at the moment, but they're also not likely to, because I'm actually going to cut the rock so it comes right in underneath here, maybe even taking out some of these, and then that piece will actually kind of sit in and over the top and kind of lock on, almost as though it'll feel like the building is actually built really into the rock. So here is another little technique that I used to build up the rock face, just to get a little bit of stability in and over the top. It's obviously going to be connected to this section and also over here, but I did want to try and save a little bit of my filler brick and also just any gaps you can see through there. I didn't want to have kind of multicolored bricks, so this hopefully will be a good solution for that, and obviously it's connected down the bottom there. So there's the update for that. You obviously have to break it, but now I'm going to push on to try to get this rock piece finished here. So here we go. And here it is now. This is one side of the extension, so that big gap now is now filled in pretty much. There was a few little gaps at the top there which I will actually endeavour to fix and sort of fill in behind there, but generally I like where that's heading. It does sort of almost fit in exactly under the roof in this section. It's got a few sort of turns to it. Basically in this section here I've just it's just sitting on one stud and it's tilted just to get that sort of corner factor, and then I will kind of wedge some things in behind it so it is sort of filled in, but generally I think that little extension has worked pretty well and filled in the gap there, and I think that corner there I'm liking where that's kind of heading, but if we head around this way now, you can see further extension at the top here. I'm still working away just to get at that. I think probably another sort of a little height, just another section there, probably about that much higher, another ring around just before this that puppy goes back on the top of it, because I really think that with the roof on now, I just wanted to get a bit more height on that spire, and I think that's now where I kind of want it to be, and the extension is definitely looking pretty good, and you'll see in there now that's actually connected up, and that's using that Technic piece that I just showed you guys before. Basically it's created a little stand which has given it a fair bit of stability down there, and kind of marries up with the top, so it's not looking too flimsy in and around. Sort of this section in here should sort of hold up based off that. And now I'm going to head around the other side just to show you guys a technique that I've used for, it's a slightly different technique to everything else, but I just wanted to show you guys how I'd actually done it. Here we go, looking at the other side here. So you'll see that the gap has actually been filled in this section here, and how that's actually been done is just a panel. So similarly to the way that I've done this, and I basically just built this up in Snot because I wanted to sort of fill that in quite easily, as opposed to using a lot of these, because I actually ran out of some of these reversed bricks. And they're actually quite hard to find. They're fairly expensive compared to some of the other ones. So I've put in an order to get some more, because obviously I've got a lot of different rock areas, but I wanted to sort of try something a little bit different here. So I've actually done a lot of the reverse backups with some of these slopes, and that's actually worked out really well in that section. So I will continue. I've sort of brought that down to about here, and then I will continue this section up and over, and it will kind of fall off, and all of this will just be kind of rock that sits up against this cladding. So this all will be filled in with rock basically that comes up and like this, and then marries up with this section down here, and so that'll run, basically rock will run the whole way along there. But yeah, I think that technique is definitely one that I probably will reuse in the future, particularly if I keep running out of that reverse brick there. But yeah, that pretty much is the update so far. Obviously I still haven't got the top on, but I am pretty happy with that little extension there and the filling of the gaps on both sides. And obviously the building, I think now really starting to get an idea of how this is going to look, and how kind of the whole of Batu is going to look, with that being kind of the central feature. being Doc Ondars, and then the cantina, and basically all of the buildings around the side are going to be kind of open on one side so that I can shoot for the upcoming special announcements that I have. Something very special planned. The Emperor has something very special planned. We only need to keep them from escaping. And I'm hoping to have Doc Ondars completely finished interior as well, which is moving along. It's in there. And I have taken the chandelier out just to finish that up. But that will go back in there as well, and that will actually light up Doc Ondars, so that's pretty exciting. I'm looking to finish all of this by the end of November, so that is, I'm pretty pumped about that, and it means that I can get onto some of these other sections of the build, mainly the spaceport, because you need a place to land. There you go, guys. That is this week's update. I hope you have enjoyed it. Well, there you go, Brick fans. That's all the progress on this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed going through all of those parts. I really feel like Doc Ondars is getting close. I am hoping to have it all finished by the end of November so I can bring you guys the first of the Batuu cinematics, which will be Doc Ondars. It will be the full exterior, interior as well, all lit up. It is going to be very exciting, and I'm also excited to get onto some of those other sections of the build. Please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button below. If you enjoyed today's video, give me a like, and if you're looking for something else to do on a Tuesday, I am doing a live where I'm actually going to digitally build the milk stand for Batuu. I did start that last Tuesday, but I am going to change my times around a little bit just to try and suit the UK and US audiences as well. I would love to have you guys on board. If you can't catch me on Tuesday for live, Building Batuu will be back next Sunday. And until then, till the spire, and may the bricks be with you.